Day 5 of the 5-day challenge. It is on. Is that spirit calling? Now, throughout our conversations throughout the last 4 days, I definitely mention spirit. I mention it all the time. It is the basis of my work. I consider myself to be a spiritual leader, a spiritual teacher, right? And it interweaves every last thing that I do and talk about. So the first few days though, we talked about the 3 brains, and we talked about our physical biology more so than anything else. And then I told you we would go up the scale, going from the root all the way to the crown. And so today we're really going to focus on the crown chakra and connecting with spirit. Now, in the middle there, we already talked about connecting with people, with people's energy intuitively, tapping in, having a target, going deeper if we choose to, knowing that that's not necessary. We don't really even have to focus to read a person's energy or to sense a person's energy. And we talked about why we use our intuition in our daily lives and how that helps us. I kind of just want to go back to that for a sec and ask you guys how you use your intuitions in your daily lives. I mean, do you? Is it a practice that you have had up to this point, or is it something kind of new to you that you are going to try or do on a regular basis? So I want to talk about that we can use our intuitions and connect with spirit for information and guidance. And it's not just on special occasions, right? It's not just for special events. It's for everyday use. That's what I love. I love the practicality of the work that I do and keeping the spiritual realm close to the heart, because actually it's just a breath away, right? And so when we want to get that more higher realm guidance, the good stuff is what I call it, we go straight to the source. So we get the most accurate news and information on the planet. It sounds like a news station, which it kind of is, but it's a news station with a very high frequency. We're not going to pick it up on our TVs. We're going to pick it up in our bodies. Hopefully you have a lot more awareness about how you actually do receive your intuitive information through your brains, through your senses, right? So we're so wired to receive this info. All right. So when we talk about connecting with the higher realms, I'm really talking about connecting with your high self. So that would be your soul. That would be your soul that is connected to divine intelligence. I'm talking about spirit helpers, your spiritual entourage. And we have many names that this goes by. I would be really curious as to what you call your spirit helpers, your helpers in spirit. Do you call them angels? Do you call them spirit guides? Do you call them ancestors, helpers? I call them all of the above, but most of the time I just call them you guys, because I don't know who they are or if they are actually even whose, right? So I call them you guys and y'all and them. And I always say that you guys are so good. You guys are so good. So I have a very casual relationship with my spirit guides. And I tell the story. I've told the story so many times about how I come to that conclusion that I had an epiphany or a visit from my spirit guides that let me know that it's okay. They don't care what I call them, just call them, right? And so I spread that spirit everywhere. It doesn't have to be a big formal deal. So when we are connecting with spirit, I have to say that every religion around the world does this. We all have a practice that connects with the higher realms. Most religions call it prayer. That is the connection that happens when we go into the quiet of our minds and we connect with spirit, or we pray to God, or we pray to our angels. We pray for guidance. But here's the disconnect for me. So y'all know, most of you anyway, that I was raised Catholic, and I became Catholic by choice when I was 14. So I think it was a lot of peer pressure. I went to Catholic school, and everybody else is getting their what did we call it? The confirmation, and we're going to graduate to, from junior high to high school. There's a lot of religious ceremony and ritual going on. And I felt like I was missing out on all that fun. And so I asked my dad if I can just go ahead and get baptized. And he was in tears. He said, absolutely. I never wanted to force any religion on you. That's why I never baptized you, so you could make your own choices. My dad was pretty cool when it came to certain things. And so I got baptized when I was 14. I already, knew about all the rituals. I knew about confession. I knew about taking the communion, all that good stuff. And I was really looking forward to taking communion. And so when it came to confession time, though, I refused to do it. I just couldn't do it. My intuition said no. My intuition said, girl, you've been praying and having a relationship with the God of your knowing all these years, and it's strong. I've always had a very strong spiritual life. And I don't need a middleman. And I'm not going to sit there and tell Father so-and-so my stuff, because I already told that to my God, or God. That's what I used to call divine intelligence when I was younger, is God. And still refer to it. It's a nice, easy, short 3-letter phrase, right? And so, yeah, I wasn't down with doing confession. I went ahead and did communion anyway. And to this day, if I feel like it, I'll still go do communion. And according to the Catholic Church, that's a no-no. But according to my relationship with my understanding of God and divine intelligence, it ain't no thing. It's a ritual. And, it's something that I can appreciate from time to time if I feel moved to. I used to scuba dive when I lived in California up in Monterey. And there's a mission that I would stop at. It's my favorite mission. I love missions. I still love the Catholic Church and all of the stained glass and the incense and the rituals and all that stuff. I don't necessarily participate or have, participate or believe in a lot of the dogma. I think a lot of that is just man-made. But there are parts of every religion, I think, that is beautiful. And I think the intention of all of the religions are the same. We're all trying to get to the higher realm. We're all trying to do better. We're all trying to connect. We're all trying to make those connections with our spiritual entourage. And so, like I said before, most religions call that prayer. And and back full circle, where my problem is with that is that people usually don't hit their knees to the ground until they're SOL on something, right? Until they're in a lot of pain and they're begging or beseeching or bargaining. If you do this, then I'll do that. And I just know that that's not the way it works. I have had an intuitive knowing about the spiritual realm since I was a kid. And it's not complicated, and there's no need to beg and to beseech and all of that. There's nothing up there judging us or hurting us or testing us or any of that stuff. And so I don't think the begging is necessary. I think that puts us in a victim mentality, right? And I don't think that that's healthy for us. So instead of, doing the down and out prayer stuff, and then obviously also backtrack, being raised Catholic, we had to memorize a lot of prayers like a lot of religions do, and go through the rosary. And so I dig ritual. I can dig it. I have a different meaning for it, and we apply our own meanings to everything. Everybody's running their own movie. Um, but as far as just having a rote memorized prayer and repeating it takes the intention and the meaning out of it, unless you are full of intention and meaning. But I think that's hard to do, to just blah 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 blah, and then infuse it with real intention and real meaning, because because just by the nature of memorizing something and reciting it takes the the meat out of it. It takes the heart and the soul out of it, right? So I really do believe, though, that we do have this spiritual entourage and these helpers and this God and this universe, or whatever term you want to call it. But I don't think we have to beg or pray necessarily. We can just communicate. We can just chat with them. We can, just like I'm chatting with you now, we can chat with them. We can connect with them um, easily every day, all the time. The spirit is just a breath away, literally, right? We are connected to it. There is no separation. We are it. It is us. It goes through us. It keeps our bodies going, the functions happening. So in my world, there is no separation. And what I want to convey or to help people connect with is this knowing that you are spirit, you are, and you are so connected. And so, if you just had a few different tools and techniques and rituals of your own that could help you connect faster, easier, better, straighter, however, then good, mission accomplished, right? Mission accomplished. We don't need to necessarily do all those things unless we really want to. It's just about your personal choice. How do you like to connect? Do you want to get all ritualistic about it? Cool. Maybe that adds a deeper level of meaning for you. In my world, I'm kind of fast, right? I'm an air sign, so I'm zipping and going all the time. So I have a quick, easy kind of method for everything that I do. 5-minute makeup, 2-second connect with spirit. I like to do things efficiently and quickly, and I know that I can. And so I just said a couple of different times that spirit is just a breath away. So what do you think the first way to connect with spirit is? It's through our breath. There it is. There's that life force. There it is. I am remembering my connection to it by breathing it in. It's the life force that sustains my entire being. How is that not being connected to spirit? Of course it is, right? So our spirits are intermingling with the divine spirit, the Holy Spirit, the big spirit in the sky. All the different cultures have different names for it. You get to pick yours, and there's no right and there's no wrong. I would say just do it. And the reasons are many, right? The reasons are many. So again, I am just so curious to know what you call your spiritual entourage before I get into what I kind of gather the spiritual entourage to be, or the different levels of spirit helpers. Yeah. So yes, let's go straight to the source. Straight to the source. So spirit helpers. I used to have this diagram when I first started doing my work, and it was like a pyramid of levels of spirit helpers. I don't know if I do know. I don't believe that anymore, and I think that we talked about having that open head brain and that open mind, and changing your mind about things and having that flexibility as we learn, as we grow, as we expand our consciousness, to shift gears is fine. It's good. It's evolution, and I think that that's how we are wired to be. We're always growing, always evolving. And so if we change our minds about something, that's cool. We are creating new pathways. We're not stuck in our old rigid thoughts. We're not stuck in old rigid thoughts given to us by other people. We are making our own decisions, our own definitions, our own pathways to spirit, our own pathways to really living our most evolved life. So I hope that wasn't, I absolutely mean no insult or anything towards any religion. Like I said, there's a place for them all, and I love bits and pieces of all of them. I love their core and their intention. Their core and their intention, for the most part, are good, for the most part, right? I think at least the original core and intention. Have to go back a little bit. The original core and intention was probably really spot on about connecting and being our spirit selves, and then good old humans, we got into the mix and we like to do things that serve us more than the bigger pictures sometimes. So that's why I think it's really good to question everything and to keep that head brain in check and to be flexible and going into a new place where instead of believing thoughts that have been handed to you or that you picked up, to intuitively put it to the test. It's like, does that resonate with me? Going to confession and telling my sins to a guy, or going to a marriage counseling to a guy who's took a vow of chastity. Geez, you know what? That doesn't even resonate with my freaking monkey brain. That doesn't resonate with the most insane part of me. And so it absolutely doesn't resonate with my spirit or my heart or my intuition. There's no way. So this is good to check things, keep things in check, ask those questions, question everything, and get to the heart of your knowing, your inner knowing. Trust that inner guidance, man. It is spot on. It is better than anything else out there. Trust me. Okay, so let's talk about those spirit helpers. Those spirit helpers, we mentioned angels. There's people who have passed over, our relatives, our friends, our ancestors. So I'm thinking of the levels that I used to have, right? Actually, if you think about the earth, actually this level thing helps with the visualization. Think planet Earth, and then think of the level above that as far as spirit goes, would be our ancestors or our people who have passed, right? So they were of the planet. They lived. They know us. They experienced the human life, the whole human condition, and so they get a few things. And I think when we pass, we get more insight. I don't think that a whole lot of other stuff really happens. So I don't really know if we become angels or anything like that, but I think that we do become helpers. Like, we can show up and give guidance and help to other people because our perspective has just gotten really big. And I think that when we pass, the biggest things that happen is the insanity, those really ridiculous thoughts that we held on to, our biases, our prejudices, they fall away. They're just gone because you're like, that was dorky. Wow. I really think that our perspective just blows out and we see such a bigger picture, and we can see the errors of our thinking and of our ways, and we're released of the burdens of carrying all that heaviness around with us. So then when we're in spirit, energy never dies. When we're in spirit, then we can be of service and of guidance and of help to people around that are still on earth if we choose to. I think I will find out eventually, right? as will you. But that's how I believe it to be. That's what resonates with me. I used to do mediumship readings quite a bit, and that was the general consensus that I felt when I tapped into that other side, when I would go and connect with people who've passed and get the information and the downloads from them. So we have that, and then we have, if we go up the guidance levels, the ladder, if you want to call it that, then we have our spiritual teachers who actually walked the planet, who had that insight and information. They channeled it. They just have this knowing about it, and so they were the teachers of the truth. I consider Jesus to be one of them. Um, uh, and like Siddhartha, Buddha. Then there are, oh gosh, there's just so many. Think of your religion and think of the person that represents that religion. Some people just have a heightened awareness about the spiritual realm, and they teach it or they display it and show it to others. They are not the ones who created the religions after themselves. That was people who did that later. But I think that there's that energy of those people with the higher consciousness who are just natural spiritual teachers. And so we can channel their energy. And I know that a lot of religions around the planet definitely have the intention of channeling the energy of Christ consciousness. Some are on the mark and some are off the mark. I don't want to judge, but I just did. And we can connect with or channel the energy of Siddhartha or Buddha or any of the great teachers. I call them the ascended masters. That's how I learned that phrase. And one of the stories that I tell is that, being raised Catholic, I didn't know anything about the Eastern religions. And then I just kept on getting drawn towards Eastern philosophy. And I started to collect little Buddha statues, Buddha pictures, Buddha everything. And I thought it was kind of cool, but I didn't understand why I was doing that, why I was so drawn to the whole Zen philosophy and the Eastern philosophy. And then I started to study it. And I thought, well, that's why, because it resonates with me from my head to my toes, right? So there's just a lot of ancient wisdom floating around the planet, and because we are so receptive, I was picking up on it. I picked up on it until I said deliberately, okay, now I want to know more. And I began to study, and I studied the world religions when I was actually in college for a bit. Fascinating. So then we have our ascended masters, if you want to think to scale. And then the next level are the angels, and the realm of helpers that were not necessarily ever humans, right? And this higher level of consciousness. So are any of you familiar with Abraham Hicks, for example, or Seth? Or, I can't think of, Abraham Hicks is the one that comes to mind that I have the most respect for. But let's talk about Esther Hicks. Esther Hicks is a woman who channels the energy of what she has labeled Abraham. Abraham is a collection of higher consciousness. So she is tapping into higher consciousness and then sharing the information that she receives to the masses. It's amazing. And I do believe that people are channeling more than we give ourselves credit. There are some channelers who, I'm just going to be real with you, I think they're full of shit. I really do. There are some channelers who are putting on a show, and you can just tell. I'm intuitive. It's painful. So you can tell when some of the channelers are putting on a show and they're doing it for money, and they're making themselves to be special and extra exclusive and all this stuff. And actually, this is why I started to do the work that I do over 12 years ago, because I saw a lot of frauds. I saw a lot of fakers, and I saw a lot of money people and a lot of people taking advantage of other people who didn't understand, and then they would manipulate and overcharge and do all this other stuff. And when I saw this happening, because I had already been studying it, there were the teachers and the mentors that I had that were loving and kind with all of the information, and they knew that we all shared it, and there was this common universal thread running through everything. And then when I would bump up against that egoic kind of person, or just the manipulator or the robbers or the thieves and the charlatans, and they're out there, I said, oh, no, 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 you can't have this. I'm going to put a stop to this. And I'm going to make this so common and so universal and so down to earth that everybody's going to understand their power, and they're never going to give their power to you again, ever. So that has been kind of the push or the impetus for me to come out of the closet, basically, and do my work out loud in public. Because I think that it's really important that you do understand your amazing abilities, your natural way of being. And we need to stop that embarrassing kind of spiritual BS. It's not even spiritual. It's whatever, you know, you know what I'm talking about. The fortune tellers, the gypsies, the fake channelers, all that stuff. And you can spot them. So if you are going to go see somebody who is an intuitive, and I'm an intuitive, you know, so there are really good people out there doing the work. Do the heart test. Ask yourself, do you resonate with this person? Do they kind of freak you out? If you have any kind of a no in your spirit, don't do it. But so and when you feel the yes, then proceed in that direction. That's why the intuition is so important. But going back to Abraham Hicks, so the channeling of the higher consciousness and the higher awareness. So Esther and her husband Jerry, who has since passed, they went on the road and they shared the information. I would encourage you to YouTube them and because when you hear that the information coming out of her mouth, she is the translator. So her gift is in translation. That's what makes her a really awesome channeler. She is gifted in translation. She's no more gifted than you or I in connecting. She's great at translating it and sharing it and putting it in words that is palatable and understandable to humans, so that they can use it for their everyday growth, for their everyday. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So she's not trying to be all that. She's super helpful in the work that she does. And when you listen to her, you know that she is tapped into some universal truth with the capital T. And I don't think that there's anything really woo-woo or mysterious, or, well, it's mysterious, but it's not crazy. And I do believe that information is available to all of us to tap in. And so she and her husband did some work and figured out a few ways to be able to tap in, through a lot of meditation, curiosity, asking questions, the whole bit. So, I don't know where you are with that, but yeah, I would say if you're not familiar with Abraham Hicks, YouTube Abraham Hicks, listen to a few things, make up your own mind, do some heart testing around the validity, if this is something helpful for you, or if it's something that's not. And if it's not, then that's okay. Go to the level or to the places that you are comfortable with in receiving your guidance and information. So I think actually the levels are pretty helpful. So we can go where we are comfortable and where we resonate, right? Law of attraction, where we resonate. That's when we're going to hear. That's when we're going to listen. If it's too big of an exercise, or too big of a stretch of our um, head brain, then we're not going to do it. We're not going to have buy-in, right? So we have to have buy-in for all of this to actually work, since we have the placebo effect happening too. It's a whole nother chapter on that. Okay, so spirit helpers, what do you call yours? I'm so curious. And I think that on those levels, there's probably a zillion spirit helpers in between that we don't identify or can't identify, because I do believe it's a consciousness. It's not necessarily people. I think we personify a lot of things. I know we personify God. A lot of people personify God as this old man in the sky or whatever. And I don't see divine intelligence as a person. And so I get a little bent when I continue to hear people refer to God or universe as he. It really pisses me off. There's my feminism. Yes, it really pisses me off. It's like, why are we assuming it's a he? You know? Anyway, that's my little side rant. I believe divine intelligence is it. And so now we have the pronouns that can back it up. Thank you very much. As we are progressing in our ways here, we're a little clumsy in our progression, but we're progressing. So the it that permeates the, it permeates the entire universe, that divine intelligence, that love intelligence. It grows the grass. It revolves the planets around the sun. It keeps gravity. It keeps everything in place. I mean, where is it not? And so a lot of people say, where is God not? I see the same thing, but I don't believe it's a him. Where is divine intelligence not? It is everywhere. It is in us, through us, around us, above us, behind us, everywhere. And so we can connect with that easily by breathing, number one. So let's go back to that list. All right. And so breath work is number one. We can breathe. That's even mentioned in the Bible, that spirit is as far as the tip of your nose, something like that. And then, of course, we can ask and communicate with spirit. You can pray, you can chat, you can pull a card, communicate with them like that, however you choose to. I would just say and encourage you, communicate often. I know that we have this entourage of spirit helpers around us all the time, and they will answer every single question, and one of the universal laws says, ask it and it is given, seek and you will find. And these are truths that I think every culture has a buy-in about. And we can ask big things, small things. Where are my keys? Where's my favorite lipstick? What shall I have for dinner tonight? Who should I marry? That person? No question is too big and no question is too small. The universe size doesn't matter, right? So ask away. You don't have to figure everything out, and you don't have to be all crunchy about, trying to remember, trying to recall, trying to figure out, trying to. We have help. That's just a breath and a question away. The number one way of connecting with source, connecting with spirit helpers, connecting with our high self is meditation. I'm always gonna talk about the meditation. I think that's like my number one answer to every situation. What do I do about meditate? What do I do about this? Meditate. What do I do? Yes, when we meditate, we are quieting the mind, we're slowing it down, we're increasing or activating the vagus nerve. We are opening our brains, our body, our gut brain, our heart brain, our head brain. We're opening it all up so that we can hear and we can receive the information that is here for us already. It's already here, guys. It's already here. What happens is we get so busy in our head brain, especially in that top primary one that is our intellect. We get so busy in that, we're thinking about stuff. So, that takes up a lot of space, and it has a push energy to where it blocks us from our receptivity. So of course we're going to use that too, though, but to stay open and to be aware of where we are at any given time. Like right now, I'm pushing, I'm out, not very receptive at this moment. It's going to take a shift. And now I'm receptive. It's easy. It's super easy. So we can shift all day long, right? Meditation, big deal. And those of you who know me know that I talk about a zillion ways to meditate. We don't have to sit in lotus. We don't have to do the mudras with the hands. We don't have to do anything. We can do whatever we want. You can go stare at a tree. You can go sit in the grass and look at the clouds. You can listen to really cool, relaxing ambient music. You can be washing your dishes. The deal is that when you're in meditation, you're slowing your body down. You're slowing your mind down. You are open and receptive. That's the big deal. So do I encourage the sitting meditation? You betcha. Yep. Because then you're not doing anything else and you're in focus. So that's my primary meditation. My second favorite meditation is staring at things. I call it just gazing. Like I love when I lived in Long Beach, I would go sit at the ocean and just gaze at the sprinkles of the sun on the water, like diamonds on the water. That was so mesmerizing and so cool. And when you're in that place, you are so open and receptive. You don't even know where you are, what day it is, what time. None of those things matter. You're in that zone. And that's when your body heals. That's when the information comes. Now that I live in the Pacific Northwest, I like to look at trees. I love trees. And I'll watch the branches and I'll watch the leaves. And right now it's fall. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I'll sit out on my porch and I'll just watch the conversations happening between the trees and how the wind and how it's all interacting. So that's my secondary kind of meditation. Also, when we are wanting to connect, here's what happens. You guys have heard these stories and you probably have experienced this yourself. And that is, people know, or they have a sense that, oh my gosh, I don't know how I just did that. I must have channeled that. How many times have you said that? How many times have you heard other people say that? I don't know how I wrote that book. The words just came right through me. I didn't paint that picture. Something happened and came through me, and that's the expression. I didn't write that song. That song came through me. That was channeled. That was inspired. I don't know how I just performed that performance on stage like that. I was not even present. What happened? I just know that it was flawless. Right? So when we're in the zone, doing the stuff that we love, doing the things that are natural to us, there are like our purpose for being, the things that we are just so excited about, we are channeling a lot of the time. When we just get into the zone. I used to be a runner and I loved getting into the zone. And I think that was a big part of my spiritual awakening, actually, that happened when I was like type A personality, get up at 5, run and then go, teach school or whatever. But that was until I moved to Colorado. First time I got up at 5:00 in the morning. It's like the first week I was there, I'm getting up at 5 and I'm going to go run like I always do before I go to work. And my lungs froze. And it's like, oh girl, you are not in California anymore. So then I had to get a treadmill. So, but anyway, um, when we're in the zone, we are so open and receptive. We're not doing the monkey mind. Our head brain is quiet. And then everything is open and receptive. And that's when we get a lot of ideas. That's when we get the guidance, the hair pulls, the nudges, right? And then also another thing too, if say you want to do this with intention, you want to connect with somebody in spirit, or you want to connect with the higher consciousness in spirit and get some guidance about something specific. So you have an agenda, you go into a meditation, or, so you have a plan. This is what I want to do. I want to connect with my grandmother. I want to connect with, I talked about the committee meeting yesterday. We can connect with people who are alive and people who are past. Doesn't matter. Energy is energy, right? Let's just take the lid off all that stuff. Energy is energy. So you can tap into the information or the personality or the energy of a person anywhere. And so, okay, well, I'm going to do this on purpose right now. And when we want to go to the higher realms, though, especially with people who have passed or are ascended masters, we need to raise our vibration to match that. So that's why meditation, doing the vagus nerve work, doing the chakra work, all of it matters so that we can raise our own frequency, raise our own vibration so that we can meet and match the vibration of the source that we are wanting to bring in, right? So that's what Esther does before she goes into her what do we want to call it? Her session with Abraham. She will just take 30 seconds to breathe, raise her energy, be available, and do her work. And this is what I do too when I do readings. I put myself on a shelf, my ego, my stuff, my life, and I know that it's safely over there waiting for me when I'm finished so that I can be fully available and present for the person that I'm serving. And I can read their information or energy and connect with them and connect with the energies around them that they also want to connect with, right? So we have to raise our energy. And that's when we're wanting to be intentional, right? Most of the time, we're not needing to be so intentional. We can just do this more on the fly, on the go. And one of the things that I do too when I connect with my spirit helpers and I need answers and information about something, and I shared yesterday about the committee meetings. I love committee meetings. Well, sometimes I don't have time to sit and listen to everybody in the committee meeting, right? Nor do you. So what I'll say is, okay, committee meeting, I'll see you in my head. Here's the agenda. Here's my questions. Let me know what you guys come up with. And then I'll go about my day. So I didn't raise my energy and connect and listen and do all that. Sometimes I don't want to, or I'm busy with something else and I want to just get the feedback later. And I know that the information or their answers will come back to me later when I'm in a zonish kind of moment, when I'm washing dishes, when I am walking, when I am just out and about, not using a lot of my intellect, a lot of my head brain. So there's just a multiple ways for us to connect. I recommend connecting daily, all the time, big things, little things, and knowing that the universe most definitely has your back. You are never alone. You can call on your helpers or you can not. It's all your choice. You can get down on your knees and pray. You can have rosaries. You can light candles. You can light incense. You can do your essential oil diffusers. You can do stained glass. You can wear a turban. You can wear a t-shirt. You can sit cross-legged. You can stand up. It doesn't matter. Do whatever feels good to you. Nobody's keeping score. There is no right and there is no wrong. This is our playground, and you can do your spirit work however you see fit for yourself. All right. It's already, wow. Okay, I can talk a lot. Thanks for being here, guys, and listening. Okay, so we talked about, is that spirit calling? Please call on spirit. And know that you definitely have the best guidance, the best GPS, the best everything going on out there and in here. And I mean out there, not out there. So turn off the news, turn off Dr. Oz. Well, you can watch it, I don't care. But you'll get cleaner, clearer, more direct information right here, right here. Okay. So want to talk about using that in your daily lives, not just for special occasions. Got to say that again. And then I want to talk about continuing your journey with me after the 5 days. So it's starting today. You are so invited to come and join me to go into the tools and the technologies of building and activating your intuition even more so. So I created a new community, and it's called Enchanted Empath Coaching. And we just started. This is so cool. So Wednesday, every week, we're going to be doing exercises that focus on intuition. So intuition is the name of the game for this whole quarter. So I'm splitting everything up by the quarters. So this quarter is all about intuition, every single last aspect. So I have a Wednesday workshop every Wednesday night at 6 Pacific time. We're going to go into the tools and technology of intuition, such as channeling. Actually, that's our workshop today at noon. I changed it from last Wednesday. So this will be today at noon. And then telepathy, clairvoyance, how to use tarot and oracle cards, using the pendulum. We're going to do a whole workshop on remote viewing. These workshops will be about an hour and a half long, and they're going to be in our private group, which is not on Facebook. It's at www.enchantedempath.com. It's our own private group, and all of these workshops will be inside Zoom, inside the group, so that this way it's a really private, safe place for us to practice together. I know you empaths are more quiet and reserved, and don't necessarily want to be on camera all of the time. But when we're doing these workshops, they're going to be very specific, and we're going to have a lot of different activities for you to do to really grow and build and develop your intuitive gifts. All right. So that's your invitation. And then also, just part of the deal is on Monday, every morning at 9 a.m., we'll be doing a live meditation together. So I can't talk more about the benefits of meditation. So of course I'm going to include that. So every week you're going to see me twice. You're going to get me on a Monday morning meditation and a Wednesday night workshop. And then of course, sprinkled during the week, daily inspirations and different things that pop up. And of course, special events. You'll see on the events if you go in there. We have a solstice ceremony coming up, the winter solstice. And I have this really cool book I'm going to read to you guys. It's called The Shortest Day. And all kinds of different, more personal level activities that, are kind of more my world that I want to share with you guys in a really safe place for specifically, mostly for uh, empaths and sensitives. So it's just going to be our little world. And if you go over there, you will have a 14-day free trial. So you can check it out and see if you like it. And then if you do like it, it's only $39 a month. So do the math, $39 a month, you're going to get 4 workshops a month for that. And you're going to get 4 live meditations, and then the community that surrounds you of other like-spirited, like-minded people. So this is my brand new creation. I'm really excited to launch this and to be, at the helm of this, and to provide a really cool space for us to do our work and for us to grow and to kind of get off of Facebook, really. So anyway, that's that. So anyway, I hope today was helpful. I really hope to see you in another hour at our channeling class. It's called Channeling Made Easy. It's just going to be the expanded version of what we just talked about, connecting with the higher realms and higher spirit. So, and it'll be over there, and it'll be in Zoom. All right. So go check it out, www.enchantedempath.com. Please leave your comments. Let me know. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you too. I love being here, and I'm so happy that you are here, and that this is useful information for you. So hopefully our conversation isn't ending now. It's just starting, right? So I will be doing challenges every quarter to invite people over into the meat of the deeper classes that will be happening inside the coaching membership. So anyhow, happy Halloween, happy Sunday. This was so fun. Connect with spirit. Hopefully I'll see you in class in an hour. Check it out. www, don't forget the W's, enchantedempath.com. All right, guys. Happy Halloween. Stay safe out there. Enjoy. I'll see you soon.